Hey everyone, it's Jason Shadrick with PremierGuitar.com, and we're at the Summer NAMM show here with Andy Fuchs of Fuchs Amps. And Andy, you're going to show us two new amps you're showing off here at the show, and also a pedal. But let's first start with that amp you were just playing. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. This is kind of in response to a lot of the metal players who've been out on the road with our Mantis, and customers that said, man, your Mantis is really great, but you have anything that does that at a lower price point? The Mantis Junior is sort of an extension of our Casino Series amps. It's a simpler platform to build for us. We put more on the one circuit board that's in there, things like the controls and the preamp tubes, to make the assembly time shorter than in a standard ODS TDS or a true Mantis. We didn't sacrifice anything in terms of parts quality. I don't believe we've sacrificed anything in terms of tone quality, and we've made it a little bit more available to those on a budget. The 50-watt version of the Mantis Junior is around 2,000 MAP. Entirely made in the US. Comes with this really sharp grill on the front, an illuminated fan inside to keep it operating all day long, nice and cool. Basically the gain structure, there's two channels, each has an independent input gain and an independent output master. Channel 1 without a gain boost takes you, let's say, from 1 to 5 on the scale. When you kick in the gain boost, it takes channel 1 to sort of the bottom edge of where channel 2 picks up. Channel 2 without the boost is sort of the top of what channel 1 does, and channel 2 with the boost is over the top gain. So you pretty much got, almost like having 3 channels worth of gain structure in there, all controllable from a 2-way foot switch that's included with the amp. Volume treble, middle and bass, obviously for the channels, a thrust control and an accent control or presence control, which controls the power amp. So that allows you to adjust for the kind of cabinet, a 112, 412, whatever you're running through it. And it's geared, I'm not much of a metal player, but I can give you a little bit of an idea of how it's geared towards that metal overdrive, if you will. So this is channel 1, no boost on at all. If I add the boost to channel 1, it gets me a little bit more snarly. I turn my boost off and kick over to channel 2. I kind of pick up where that leaves off. And if I add the boost on top of that, I get the fullest saturation. What's cool about this amp is it maintains the harmonic structure of the guitar. You can play a power chord through it, you can hear each note of the chord, you can hear how the chord almost sustains endlessly. There's the way the power supply is designed and the grounding in the amp. Paid a lot of attention to the signal integrity all the way through the amp. Very short signal path, relay switching, no photocells. It's like switching a switch rather than running your signal through a transistor. So we paid a lot of attention to that level of detail to keep the integrity of the signal from start to finish.
And is this amp available now, or?
This amp should be available probably by September. We're just starting production literally when we get back from the show, the end of this month. We should start shipping during August, I would say, into September. And it's available in a 50 as well as a 100-watt version.
All right, well, tell us about the next amp below here, the Jazz Classic.
Well, if you could go in a completely opposite way of a Mantis, you would go to an amplifier that was designed for maximum clean headroom, punchiness, a nice, warm, natural, musical kind of tone quality. We made an amp in the beginning of our company's existence called the Jazz Classic, which was really cool, but it was an all-tube amplifier, single-channel clean amp. It actually became our clean machine. Have a bunch of local jazz guitarists, Vic Juris, Bob DeVoe, a number of well-respected professionals who said to me, man, whatever happened to the Jazz Classic? I need something small, I need something light, I want a lot of power and a lot of clean headroom. During that time, we were developing the Bruiser, and we kind of got into hybrid technology, and what I came up with was a 150-watt switch mode power amp running on a traditional power supply, not to be confused with switch mode power supplies, which I don't think sound as good as a regular set of capacitors and a rectifier. So what you've got is 150 watts into 4 ohms. For example, the Mini 112 combo with a Neo speaker weighs in the low 30-pound range, but it's loud, clean, and warm, and it's got a tube-like bounce to it. I mean, I know a Strat's not exactly a jazz guitar, but I can show you that. So this will give you a nice, real nice, sparkly kind of. Gobs and gobs of clean headroom before clipping, and it's all built in the same platform as the casino stuff, so it's efficient for us to produce. Retail, at this point, we're still playing around with the numbers, but it should end up probably in the low 2000s range for a head, a couple of bucks more for a combo, and we're using a custom-made Neo speaker we're really proud of. And what's nice, and it leads me into the next product.
Will this one be available around the same time as the Mantis Junior?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. What's cool about this as well is occasionally jazz guys actually do play fusion and rock and roll and they want distortion. It's a decent platform to throw a pedal on top of. So that sort of leads me into the new pedal we're introducing. This is an exclusive pedal we've designed for Guitar Center. Not going to be available anyplace else except Guitar Center. I believe the anticipated retail is going to be around $179. Of course, they'll promote it and they'll probably discount it and do some sales on it down the line, but I think MAP's going to be around $179. What makes the pedal kind of cool, it's got 3 different modes of operation. You've got a red mode, a blue mode, and a green mode. Your LED will show you what mode you're in. And you've got separate gain and tone controls on the input as well as the output. So you've got an inordinate amount of flexibility in terms of the range of what the pedal's capable of doing. My favorite mode is the blue mode. It's a little more high gain. It's a little more voiced probably around what our ODS and casino amps do. It's a nice smooth round distortion. And it's loud too, hey. So that's your red mode. Your green mode's a little more, I guess, in the English camp. Take down a little bit of that reverb. And then we'll go to the blue mode. And what's cool is you can control your input gain if you're just looking for a small amount of overdraw or a lot. And your input tone control controls how hard you're going to hit the drive section. So you can kind of make up for that on the output side as well. So you got a pretty wide flexibility in terms of what it can give you. If I go for full tilt bright. And that's through a totally clean amp at this point. So we're proud of that. It's a good pedal. Solid cast aluminum housing, baked on paint job. The silk screen is actually baked into the finish so it won't wear off. It's kind of like an old vintage drum or maybe a funky old Gretsch with the sparkle finish on it. I mean, we're as excited about how it looks as how it sounds.
And when will this be available?
These should start shipping. I think Guitar Center gets their first shipment sometime in the beginning of August. So I'm thinking it should hit the street before September.
And where can people go online to find out about all the different amps and other products you have?
Well, this pedal will be on Guitar Center's website, guitarcenter.com. Our amplifiers and pedals would be on fuchsaudio.com. And we're also very active in social media. We got a great Facebook page, always looking for friends. And we'd love to hear from you if you have any comments or have any questions at all. Tech support will get back to you quick with what we're all about.
All right, Andy. Well, thank you so much for showing us your new amps.
Have a great show.
This is Jason Shadrick with PremierGuitar.com.